Do you remember this game called My Restaurant? This is one of the most popular restaurant games on Roblox, which has nearly 1 billion visits. The game was made by Big Games, the studio known for pet simulator games. But at this point, it has been quite a while since it received any new content, and just been having about 1,000 players the entire time. But did you know that recently a sequel to this game came out? And I'm talking about this game called Run a Restaurant. A pretty similar name to the original game, and it just got its first update too. Now, despite the game not being out for long, as you understand, since it just got its first update, it already has a pretty decent player count. At the moment, having almost 5,000 players, where a few days ago it wouldn't even have 2,000. And the player count does seem like it will continue to rise for some more time. But why did I call this game a sequel to My Restaurant? Well, obviously the names are similar, but it's actually led by the same developer who worked on the original one. The owner of the group behind New Run a Restaurant game is this guy called David. He's been in Big Games' team for a long time, and as he himself said years ago, him and Preston were the ones working on My Restaurant, which actually had a bit of a different name back then. And now, in the newest post, he has revealed the new restaurant game him and a few other people have made. And since both restaurant games has the same person involved, they did turn out pretty similar. I decided to try out the game, as someone who played My Restaurant all the way back when it just released almost 6 years ago. The tutorial goes over a few important things to understand the game, and if you played My Restaurant, you would notice similarities right away. After the main tutorial, you basically have the quests kind of guide you to other parts of the game. You hire workers to automize the income more, and obviously buy more things, or upgrade older things to speed up the process and make more money. Simple enough. Basically, if you played My Restaurant, you'll get a hang of this game much easier and faster, I would imagine. But there are some differences, even big ones, I would say. Skills are one of the new things. It basically acts like Mastery in Pet Simulator if you want a Big Games reference for it. You get XP from everything for different things. With more levels, you unlock more and better things, as well as passive boosts, which do not require anything from you. And I think it's about time I address the elephant in the room: farming. This is basically the biggest difference from My Restaurant, because now you need to grow up crops and even get animals. That is needed to get ingredients for more expensive dishes, and as you can see, the later dishes require more different ingredients. I haven't gotten to animals yet, but when it comes to plants, you just place them out. And it does grow infinitely, obviously. Fridges is also something new because they act as storage for all of your ingredients, so better fridge means more storage. Another thing about this game is that there are days and you can see your results every 20 minutes. It tells you your performance and a bunch of other stuff. Going back to similarities, My Restaurant always had different type of customers, some being rarer and giving more money. This game also has that. Not as many yet, though, for obvious reasons, but it is a thing. Remember the shop in My Restaurant? A huge place where you go around and buy stuff. That is a thing in this game, too. But an easier alternative is to talk to David for simplicity. And this game does have restocking now, kind of similar to Grow a Garden shops. So the new Run a Restaurant game is pretty much both similar and different to the original My Restaurant, and I feel like it makes sense to call it a sequel. After all, as I said earlier, it's led by the same person. But what happened to the original game? Well, lack of updates happened. The game sometimes just didn't update. And even when it did, the game had other issues. Too many things to handle, like you got probably at least 10 different sets of tables and chairs which all do their things with their own customers. The game also has been known for being laggy because of how many NPCs there are, but the main thing that seemed to have made many quit is the removal of Global Market. I've seen many people mention that they quit after Global Market was removed, a place where you and anyone else could sell any of your items, that allowed you to also get time-limited items you might have missed. It actually closed when Huge Chef Cat event was happening, but later on got fully removed. The Huge Chef Cat event was an event where you had to serve 100,000 customers to get a huge pet in Pet Simulator X. That is when the game had highest player count too. But even without updates and some issues, the game still manages to get over 1,000 players every weekend, and in general has a pretty good amount of passive players. Restaurant games never have reached any crazy player counts, but it does seem like they have a pretty good passive player count, or at least some of them. Most known are Restaurant Tycoons. The second one still has a good amount of players at all times, and third one is currently the one with main focus on, and it pretty easily gets to over 10,000 players every day as of right now. With restaurant games, you won't see any crazy player counts, as you probably got used to at this point, with a new game hitting 1 million players nearly every month at this point. So the new run a restaurant game is actually doing pretty good so far, being not super far away from Restaurant Tycoon 3 in terms of player count. As I have mentioned earlier, Run a Restaurant got its first update just recently, and it does seem like quite many things have been either added or changed already now. The main one is obviously being Black Market, which I'm not exactly sure how often appears, but it should be something between every 1 and 2 hours. The Black Market has random items, and very rarely you may see something like sprinklers or windmill, or even prep kitchen, which all give some sort of a boost. Also, I did mention how there were no floors in this game, unlike my restaurant, right? Well, instead of that, you got even more customization because you can expand it however you want since you got land. It's basically taking more of a Restaurant Tycoon direction here. Maybe there will be even floors added in the future updates too. But so far, I've seen people either try to make cool-looking restaurants or whatever this is with no roof and walls, but I guess that works too. I think it's pretty obvious this game is trying to be some sort of a combination of my restaurant, but also taking inspiration from Restaurant Tycoon. Someone actually asked David about freedom of constructing and mentioned Restaurant Tycoon 3 as reference, and it does seem like that is the kind of direction the game will go. And I feel like this may be a good thing for it. My restaurant had its problems, quite many I would say. The new game is kind of trying to have more things, instead of having full focus on just a few mechanics, and as we're seeing with Restaurant Tycoon games, they seem to be doing good in long term. So if this game follows them, it might perform better in long term than even my restaurant. It has both some items from the older game that you may recognize, but also many new ones, especially for farming, since that is completely new. But for now, the game seemed to be doing pretty good since it is taking a different approach and very likely have learned from the mistakes of the first game. I feel like it might have a brighter future than my restaurant. But if you played my restaurant, what do you think about this new game? Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I would really appreciate that. You can watch one of these videos while waiting for a new one. They are good too. You can play our game or join my Discord server with links in description, and I will see you soon.